my name's Steph Kennard and I am the founder of BONNET. Today I'm going to be taking you through a demo of our system. It's going to be a bit of a lengthy one, so do make sure to check the chapters as I will be planning to go through everything. Without further ado, what makes BONNET unique is that we've got a link with the NZTA. We put vehicles in a priority system, so essentially you want to be actioning what you see in the orange section, and most of your vehicles should be nicely filed away in the green section. Anything that gets to a red status should be either in the shop or there should be a reason why you haven't kind of done anything with that vehicle yet. So for our fleets of around 20 cars and under, we do recommend to stay on this view. It's quite a visual view, but you can't actually fit like a huge amount in there. If you do have a vehicle fleet over around 20, or if you just prefer to look at data via like a spreadsheet type way, then we do have the table view. So it's all the same information, it's just basically displayed differently, and you can filter via these top sections at the top. So in terms of adding a car, at the top there you can see add a new vehicle. So click that and go ahead and enter in a vehicle number plate, so JM2. What that's done there is it's done an instant lookup with the NZTA. So we know that's a Mitsubishi Triton. We do know that that's a 2018 vehicle. We have a warrant of fitness coming through here, registration, VIN number, as well as current road user charge license. So we know that that vehicle's covered up to 122,000 Ks, and the odometer that shows here is actually the last known odometer when it got a warrant of fitness. So generally speaking, that always needs to be updated. The fields that are empty are kind of yours to use at your discretion. So vehicle nickname is usually who drives the vehicle. So let's say Steve drives this vehicle. Location, so if you've got multiple locations or work sites, you can use this location field to kind of help identify where the vehicles sit, or you can just use it, leave it blank, it's up to you. Vehicle service due date, so this is when the vehicle is due for a service, but there's also a kilometre threshold here as well. So let's say that this vehicle was due for a service at 150,000 Ks. Whatever kind of happens first will trigger that service alert, the date, or if someone's gone to drive at like 20,000 Ks tomorrow, that would flag. Then we have the hubbo reading, so if this was a truck, we can switch the road user charges to look at the hubbo instead of the odometer. So let's say hubbo is 120,000 Ks. And then machine hours. So generally speaking, the machine hours are left blank. The only time that you would use this is if you've got like a compressor or something on the vehicle that needs servicing. So we actually do the Mr. Whippy fleet. So for example, for these guys, they use the machine hours to kind of like service the refrigeration units on those vans. Then we've got the vehicle warranty. So of course this is important for vehicles that are new, to make sure when they fall out of warranty, everything's fixed if there's any issues, or their aftermarket warranty, which is also very, very important. Then we've got vehicle valuation. So this is really used for insurance purposes. So if you're a business and you're constantly getting your vehicle fleet insured, then you want to make sure that that's been updated. So we are planning to have that kind of a live valuation setting that talks to TradeMe. So that would come through here. Hopefully we're going to get that set up like end of this quarter. Then we have the tyre rotation. So this is obviously, well, at your discretion, based on how often this vehicle is driven. And now for the cool part, so linking up a service centre. So for linking up a service centre, we've got a third of the service centres throughout the country on here. So if you can't find your service centre, you can request it via our website. There's a submit service centre and one of the team adds it within 24 hours or so, pretty fast. If it isn't here, it will come up. And this is quite cool. So basically when you link up your service centre, it means that your bookings for book a WOF and for book a service will actually, when clicked, direct you to the landing page of that service centre to book. It also means when you actually go into that service agent, they can see via their CRM side your vehicle come through there and essentially like drag and drop the worksheet reports. So I'm not sure why the screen keeps on minimising, by the way. That's Vimeo for you. So see here, let's say the service is now due. You can just click that button, book a service, and it takes you to the booking page, which actually opened up another window so you can't see that, but it took you to the Toyota landing page to make a booking. But yeah, the really cool thing about that is that you can get them to digitise your service records. So they just log into a free area and they drag and drop the worksheet reports, and they can change the interval times as well. So if you are getting your vehicle serviced through a new vehicle dealership or second-hand kind of corner store, or you've got your own kind of internal service centre, it facilitates all of that. So you can link up every single vehicle to a different service agent if you wanted to, or you can get your own people to put in the records. You can kind of choose anyway. You can also put your costings as well. So when you do get a vehicle digitized, like the records come in, it comes through into here and it will have the logo of the service agent next to it there. So you can see that one was done by Ford, and they changed the intervals of when this vehicle was needing to be serviced next, and it's got the invoice or the worksheet report or the image of the broken whatever in there, and also the costings of that. So the real goal with us at Bonnet is very shortly we're going to launch Service Summaries AI. So, you know, you've got all your fleet, you can see which ones are costing you the most amount of money, and you can also see the ones that you should probably be moving on with. And then shortly as well, lift and shift of service records to the new vehicle owner, just to hopefully like add that bit of value as well. Now, adding a machine, I'm not going to spend too much time doing this one. Two things, all machines on Bonnet are free. Anything that's got a number plate is not free, that's a vehicle, registered vehicle. Anything that doesn't have a number plate is free essentially. So we've got people entering obviously all the excavators, all of pretty much anything with a machine. We've even got people adding coffee machines and printers, and even someone with a plane on here. So there is pretty much no limit to what you can add as a machine. It just has to have an engine or need servicing. You do have to enter the service due date and engine hours, and then also what the current engine hours are to get the vehicle to add, but the rest of the fields and also nickname are optional. If you also want to enter your service notes yourself, you just click on add a service note, select the vehicle that you're adding a service note for, and then add the service record. And then you can change when this next vehicle needs a service, and then also update the hours at the same time, and also upload the invoice or receipt or anything like that. Now, adding drivers. So the most popular reason why people want to add drivers is because they want to get the odometers off those drivers without having to text them, without having to ring them, without having to do any of that stuff, but also the drivers themselves actually get notifications to enter that. So we've got auto registration and auto road user charges in New Zealand. We're actually the first to kind of do that for the public, which is exciting, but also first to do it for auto rego for fleets, which is cool. So it can work in two ways. So you can have our GPS hardware inside your vehicles, and that pings the odometer off the engine to us instantly. It comes at a cost of $28 per vehicle, or you can choose the cheaper method of doing it just on the fleet plan at $8 per vehicle, but the caveat is that you've got to get your drivers to give us the odometer reading, or you walk around the vehicles yourself, but obviously that's not a popular option. So to get the vehicles odometer, you need to invite the drivers. So one of the first things everyone should be doing, even if they're on a trial, is inviting drivers. So what you want to do is invite a driver, put in the email address of the driver, so let's say Tom at bonnet.co.nz. I'm going to select the vehicle that Tom drives, and then I'm going to also select I chose Lamborghini, lucky Tom, and also any shared vehicles that he also drives, because what I'm doing is I'm actually creating him an account and also sharing those vehicles so he can see them and also have like co-management of those vehicles. So let's choose these two. So when I hit the invite button, Tom's now got an account created. He's been sent logins to log in. He needs to log in. He actually needs to accept the vehicle link invitation on the web at first, or when the office lady needs to be sent his logins and do that for him. Once that part is done, he can now download the app, log in with the logins that we sent him, and he will see those vehicles in that Lamborghini on his phone. He then gets reminders once a month to update odometer, and once that's done, you can set up your auto RUCs to be purchased in 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 increments, and we do that for you based on the knowledge of how far that vehicle is driven. So that's really cool. Now then, the next part is inspection checklists. So this is our newest feature. I'm not sure why Vimeo is changing the screen like that. It's actually never done that before, so that's handy, but I'm not going to re-record this massive demo. So you go onto the inspection checklist. Now, inspection checklists are only available on the fleet plan, so anyone that signs up on a trial gets access to all the features. If you then want to progress on the standard plan, which is technically our public plan, but anyone can do that, it's $2 per vehicle after the 5th car. So we keep 5 vehicles for free for the general public mainly, and small SMEs. But yeah, so if you want to have inspection checklists, it's just on the fleet plan. But go on here, have a little play around. You essentially go set up inspection checklists, select the template. So this template we load on our side. So it should have most the inspection checklists that you want to do. If it doesn't, just email support@bonnet.co.nz and we will add that same day for you. So if it's not here, it will be soon. Just ask us. So let's say we'll do a daily passenger vehicle inspection checklist. I'm going to assign that to all of my vehicles and all of my drivers. So I'm going to set alerts up, so that's notifications on the app, and I'm going to choose here the frequency I want these drivers to be alerted. So I'm going to say I want them to be alerted every work day at 9 a.m. And so what that's going to do is it's going to then take you to the next page where you just unselect the questions that you don't want, or you keep them all in there. For this, I'm just going to keep them all in there. And now every day at 9 a.m, your drivers are going to be sent a notification to fill this out. When they fill it out, the inspection checklist comes through as a pass or a fail. So now that inspection checklist is added, and these are all the pending drivers, because I assign them to all of my demo account drivers that are yet to fill that inspection checklist out. Now on the app, they will see that come through in the inspection checklist page. There's also a report incident button for your drivers. So at any time they can report an incident or a fault with the vehicles. Incident is an accident. So that's of different scales, and the app actually asks them questions, and then based on the severity, it actually emails even us if it's critical and we call you, or if it's a minor one, then the different threshold of people get alerted based off these emergency contacts up here. So when you set up your account, you can put in your emergency contact number, the fleet manager, the service centre address, the service centre number, roadside assistance, and all of that, and that all shows within the app when someone actually gets into an accident. And so when those vehicle inspection checklists come through, the failed ones go into the failed tab, and you basically have a workboard of what needs to be completed, and the passed ones go into the passed tab. So of course I can go through a demo with anyone here with more information on that. I can probably talk for another hour, so I'm going to just skip right along. So next I'm going to take you through the tracking, the GPS tracking. Now we have done so many good things with this GPS tracking. I'm super proud of it. So easy to use. We've gone with the KISS principle with this. Keep it simple, stupid. Everything is beautiful. Everything looks really well. We've pretty much got all the features of the likes of the Eros and Navmans of the world now, and so we're really proud of this. How it essentially works is that we have a plug-and-play device. So we have these plug-and-play devices here. So this actual extender cable goes into the OBD port and sits flush, and then this device sits in the shelf of the vehicle underneath the steering column. So that's a plug-and-play model, so no more needing to get your assets off the road, no more auto sparky, very, very simple solution, and then you just basically turn the engine on and then link it up, and your vehicle shows amazingly perfectly within the bonnet map here. The other device that we have is called the 880. So basically this has a positive and negative terminal, and this also is a plug and play model and just connects into the battery, and this is 3M tape here, and it just slaps to the side of the battery. So the reason why people use these ones, and to put it in perspective, 95% of fleets get this. It's the 5% of fleets that have really old trucks, like old Volvo trucks, don't have an OBD port, or are concerned about your drivers pulling them out, that use these devices. So a lot more discreet, exactly the same cost, $190 plus GST for the device, and then an extra $20 for the tracking. So if you put these on, the other reason is people put these on machines. So if you have a machine in Bonnet, you're just paying $20 for the tracking. If you've got a registered vehicle, it's $20 plus $8 for the fleet plan, which is $28. So now I'm going to show you the tracking side and how that works. So here you can click on any vehicle in your fleet and you can see, so this person's currently driving, you can see how fast they're going, the address, the last recorded time, as well as odometer. So this is actually coming out of the engine in terms of Ks. Now if I want to see tracks, you can click on the date range up there. So we actually go back 3 years in terms of loaded tracks. So we can see here on the 8th, she drove quite a while. So you can really zoom in there to see where she went around, is that Wellington? I think Wellington. Around Wellington, and all those different points are actually stop points. And then you can also see the track heat mapped, and any purple section is actually where they sped. And you can click on that there to actually see if there's any harsh braking, harsh accelerating, cornering, and what she was actually doing, which is 113 k's. And yeah, the other thing is down the left side you can see all of the actual stop and start points. So a lot of our construction services companies actually use this to do billing. So you can see here she was there for 30 minutes. So if she was doing some plumbing or putting something together and it was charge out rate, you can see there that she needs to be charged out for 30 minutes at that location. So yeah, really informative, and you can also export those tracks if you click that button up the top there. So then I can zoom back to all vehicles, and of course you do have the vehicle list on the left side there. I've gone out to see, and also the current location. So if you're currently got all your staff out in Tauranga and you don't really know where they are, you can kind of look down that right side there to see the address of where everyone is. So yeah, so that's pretty much Bonnet. So we have also behind the scenes, we have automated compliance. So we have auto RUC, auto road user charges, auto Rego, we have RUC refunds. So anyone that has GPS tracking in the vehicles, we can actually supply you with the data that you need to get your RUC refunds. And what does that mean? Essentially, anyone that drives off a registered New Zealand road that is paying road user charges can get that back. So anything that's not a maintained road by the government. So essentially, McDonald's drive-throughs, obviously horticulture, agriculture, driveways, car parks, a lot of places. And so essentially every quarter we will supply you with the data that you need, so every vehicle and how many kilometres they drove off-road, and you can claim to get that 76 on average cost back per 1,000 k's, which is really exciting, and it really does add up. For one of the chicks here, and she just basically works in the office, it works out to be $5 a month. For some like businesses that operate their fleet off-road, it can be hundreds of dollars a month. So it really does depend, but it is quite significant. We do auto Rego, and then lastly we are in the very, very beginning stages of doing OEM Connect, which is connectivity to your vehicle without hardware. So lots of the new vehicle engines have built-in GPS and telematics. Lots of the brands, unfortunately not so much the Ute or Tradie brands yet, are starting to release it in New Zealand. So Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, Tesla, BYD, some of those type of brands, let me know if you want to test with that. What it means is we'll send you a consent flow and you can get the odometer and even GPS and battery and even fuel kind of data out of the engine without needing to put any device in there, which is really exciting. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything. Hopefully I didn't speak too fast. We redo these demos pretty much every month because we launch features so fast. On that note, the next kind of things coming is pool booking. So we are currently looking at building in that at the moment. So if that's a requirement of yours, pool booking of vehicles, do let me know because we can potentially bring you into the beta testing for that. Other than that, make sure to sign up, have a play. Please book in a demo with one of us and we would love to take you through how Bonnet can work for your fleet. Ideally send us your spreadsheet, we'll basically get the whole fleet loaded and get you even send out a GPS tracking device to have a little play with in trial. Yeah, awesome. If you've watched up to now, thank you so much, and yeah, do make sure to sign up for a trial.